was good. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and I hope you are getting up and waking up to your day thinking today's going to be a good day. So Trump has met with 11 of the 12 holdouts. It looks like the three bills are going to be moved forward. You have, let me see here, you've got the Genius Act, you have the market structure bill. The market structure bill helps to determine, it's a much larger bill, helps to determine what's a security with regard to crypto, what's a security, and what is a commodity, what goes to the SEC and what goes to the CFTC. So that's actually a big one. Then you've also got the third one is the CBDC ban. That's right, central bank digital currencies. They're looking to ban that. That's a little bit of a heavy hit, but it could be a good thing for crypto. So what we saw yesterday with the market going down, well, with certain things going down because of the holdup with these bills, looks like he got the 11 votes and that they will flip and vote positively for these three bills going forward. There's also another bill that's supposed to come out. It's being worked on by Cynthia Loomis. We'll see what that bill is like. We'll see. So these could be some very big impacts for crypto. That's probably why you're seeing prices right now for a lot of stable coins, not a lot of stable coins, a lot of altcoins going up. So pay attention to that. ETFs have surpassed spot Bitcoin or spot. What a morning. It's early in the morning and I'm still a little bit groggy. ETFs have surpassed spot exchanges in shaping US Bitcoin trading volume. The reason why? Institutions are using ETFs as liquidity. That's why. They're using it as liquidity, and that's actually a very big deal. Market efficiency and compliance, while spot exchanges face challenges from regulatory scrutiny and market fragmentation. And I can tell you now, something else that's going to bother people is going to, and this is institutional level, right? This is institutional level stuff. So I don't want you to take it personally. The idea is that, you have these institutions and they're leaning on ETFs. Well, big one just got hacked for about $27 million. It's a really big hack, and I think that's the number. I don't know if it's going to increase as they do more forensics on what has happened. Now, when you're looking at institutions, are they ever going to go to a small exchange? They would never go to a small exchange like Big One. That's just not going to happen. They're always going to deal with the larger exchanges, and yes, problem with larger exchanges is the fact that they do have headwinds with regard to regulatory issues. So there's that. I mean, there's no getting around it. So I pay attention to things like that, and I kind of keep my nose to the grindstone on that one. Why? Because other exchanges could get hacked, right? There could be slowdowns and stoppages, all that good stuff. When you're talking about that level of money, you're going to ETFs, you're going to OTC brokers. When you're doing big things, you go to companies that specialize in doing big things. Just the way it is. That said, there are also reports out there that say, hey, look, listen, exchanges have seen a serious uptick, about 25% uptick in trading volume this in June versus the previous month. Now, I want you to stop and think about that. People have been thinking, oh, well, the retail investor isn't there. The fact is that the retail investor has been starting to show up, has been waking up. Why? They're doing their own research, knowing their entries and exits, and absolutely investing deliberately. That's the GMB 3. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. You have to do them in that order if you want to be safe. Safe, because this is your first investment. This is your first investment. Your first investment shouldn't be, doing follow-on trades because somebody else is doing it. Do your own research. Do your own research. Sometimes these people are doing trades that they can afford to lose. You might not be in that situation. And even if you were, don't you want to know where you're putting your money? Just saying, just an idea, just saying. Peter Thiel, I don't know if you guys actually understand how deep Peter Thiel goes in crypto. No, I'm not a fan of his politics, but the guy knows tech. Do you know that he actually gave money to Vitalik Buterin when he graduated university? Yeah. That's how far back he goes. Well, Peter Thiel is doing it again. He is invested in a treasury firm using Ethereum, acquiring about 8 or 9% stake in the company, which focuses on blockchain infrastructure and DeFi solutions, signifying growing institutional interest in Ethereum's utility and financial services and asset management. Peter Thiel is telling the world, I believe Ethereum is going to be big in the retail space, meaning when I walk into the store, I'm going to be able to pay for it using Ethereum. Let that wash over you for a minute. As a matter of fact, if you really stop and think about it, he thinks you're going to walk into a store and be able to buy something using just about any Ethereum-based coin. That opens up the door to a lot of things, doesn't it? With that kind of backing, that also has a little bit of an impact on coins like, I don't know, Chainlink, which is based on Ethereum. Just saying, this is why I pay attention to certain things. Peter Thiel is at the cutting edge a lot of the times. So when I see something like this, yeah, I'm paying attention. I'm paying very much attention to it. So, what else do we have? Citigroup plans to launch its own, sorry, I need some lotion. Hands are a little dry. Citibank plans to launch its own stablecoin. Now, they're not the only ones that announced that, right? Jamie Dimon said the same thing. They'll get involved with stablecoins too, even though he doesn't understand it and he doesn't understand the hype about it, but he doesn't want his company falling behind. So there you have two major international banks saying they're both getting involved in stablecoins. I want you to stop and think about that. That's just two. So you know the other ones are coming. You know the other ones are coming. So yeah, I'm looking at that and I'm paying attention to it. Also, by Citigroup, Citigroup analyst predicts that short-term stock market pullback could anticipate a strong earnings acceleration in the second half of 2025. And I'm seeing that not just from Citi, but also from other analysts, other major bank analysts. So I'm paying attention to that as well. So there's a lot going on in the news today, and I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Why? Anything that's going to affect my bag, I want to be knowledgeable about. Right? I mean, you're right now looking at 3 big bills that are about to be passed that will wind up on the president's desk. The Genius Act, the Market Structure Bill, and a CBDC ban. Those are not small things. Those are huge things. You're going to see numbers go up. You're going to see numbers go up. So if you were positioned well, this is what we're looking at. People are asking, well, can I still get in? Is this something I can still, make money on? Blah, blah, blah. You're going to be able to make money. You can still get in. I tell everybody all the time, IDCA. I literally get in there and I dollar cost average so I can get in there and, try to make some money. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Every week, sprinkle, sprinkle. It's not a painful thing. It's really easy. And it's something that you should definitely consider. Huh, that's interesting. There you go. Trying to log into a site so we can be all ready. So when we look at numbers, we can see all of the numbers. That's the big deal. That's definitely the big deal. So you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. Let me scoot on over, pull that, push this. There's my ugly mug. We'll get into those numbers later. So right now, Dow futures flat, S&P basically flat. I mean, down eight points. That's nothing. Nasdaq futures 72.75 down. Why? Look at that article right here. ASML shares drop 6.5% after the chip giant says it cannot confirm that it will grow in 2026. Now, NVIDIA is off cutting deals where they're going to be selling chips, but I don't know if that's going to trickle down to ASML even though NVIDIA requires ASML, some pieces from ASML to get their chips to work, I don't know if that's going to trickle down because NVIDIA could be making those sales based on current inventory levels. So ASML is signaling, hey, there could be a problem. That is why the NASDAQ is going to be hit today. It's a tech company. Just saying. Just saying. You also do, if you're paying attention here, you also do have Goldman Sachs coming out. As a matter of fact, we can look to see who's coming out today. So you got J&J, Goldman Sachs, of course. You have Bank of America, Morgan Stanley. There's Goldman Sachs, Progressive Corporation. You have all these companies that are coming out with numbers today. Everybody's going to be paying attention to Goldman Sachs and freaking Bank of America. That's really what everybody's going to be paying attention to. I advise you to do the same. Again, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. You must understand these things. It's kind of a big deal. There are a lot of things that are moving right now. You had CPI, you have PPI, CPI numbers come out yesterday, and you have PPI numbers coming out today. CPI numbers yesterday did not look so great, right? PPI is something that they pay deeper attention to. Those come out this morning. Pay attention. What else do we have? That I basically just gave you the news, right? So we're going to have producer price index numbers coming out, then core producer price index, and that all happens at 8:30. Then you have industrial production, capacity utilization, some Fed speak, the Fed beige book, more Fed speak. Pay attention to the doggone Fed speak. So many people don't pay attention, but when you do, you start to understand how and what they're thinking about. You really want to understand it because that makes it so that you're less surprised about things. You're less surprised about things when you learn about it. That's why when somebody was like, oh, I know the party that you're in, I don't care. I don't care. My party affiliation has nothing to do with anything. You know what it does mean? It means I'm paying attention to what can affect my bag. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. So I'm looking at this, I'm going, PPI is going to have a big effect. How these feds feel is going to have a big effect. You want to know what else is in the news? If you really want to get into it, a lot of companies, Jamie Dimon, Citi, a lot of institutions out there are talking about, yeah, we don't want a henchman at the Fed. We need the Fed to be independent. The person making decisions at the Fed are not making decisions just solely based on the United States. It directly affects the United States, but it affects the global economy. And if there's no separation, you're leading toward a deterioration of the dollar being the fiat around the world. We don't need to speed that up. That's what they're all saying. Let's hope that the new regime pays attention to that. Chances are he won't, because he doesn't pay attention to anything. Then you've got 70 being the number for the fear and greed index. It was at 73 yesterday. I'm suspecting that it'll go up today, given that the bills will most likely pass today. That's going to be a big driver of things, and you're going to see a lot of money come into the market. I can tell you that now. We're definitely going to see it. Do I think Bitcoin is going to come back? Yes, I do. Just watch. DeFi Llama, we currently have $137.939 billion in total value locked. That's a very big deal. Loving that. Absolutely loving that. Bitcoin at 118. Let me bring that to the middle of the screen. We've got Bitcoin at 118 and 118,840. So we're far away from 123,092 as that high, right? We're far away from that. However, pay attention to these things. We're turning around. This was your opportunity right here. We're turning around. Do I think there's going to be another new high shortly? Yes. When those bills get passed, you're going to see money flow. You will see money flow. Then looking at the big board, you're kind of sitting back and you're seeing, look at Ethereum, look at XRP, look at Hype, look at HBAR. Link at 16. I'm telling you, Link is going toward 20. It really is going toward 20. Shiba Inu shooting up. Aave. You have a lot of opportunities right here that are still there. I'll show you why I believe so in a moment. Looking across the board, amazing how the distance between Ethereum and Bitcoin is shortening. Ethereum's getting closer and closer and closer to positive numbers for year to date. That's going to be huge. The distance between, from a year to date perspective, the distance between Ethereum and Bitcoin is only 32 and a half. Not bad. Ethereum's been fighting back. I've been trying to give you kind of like this gauge so you could watch Ethereum. People are kind of wondering, well, why is he doing that? Because I've been doing it for a while, haven't I? I've been doing it for a while. It's because I told you Ethereum is nothing to play with. Ethereum is not something that you should sleep on. And here you are. If you'd have been holding Ethereum 90 days ago, look at that number. I'm pretty sure people's jaws are dropping. If you bought Ethereum 90 days ago, you're up 98.70. Let that wash over you for a moment. Yeah. 90 days. 90 days. So if you bought Ethereum in April, you're up significantly. You're dancing around. Just saying, even 60 days, even 30 days, even 7 days. I mean, hell, even the past 24 hours, you're smiling. In the past 24 hours, you made 5.84%. Just saying. Just putting it out there for you so you can kind of pay attention to what's going on out there. Let's take a look at the losers first. You know, I like looking at the losers first. Nobody here makes my 5% cut. Everybody on this list is still in a negative, but nobody makes my 5% cut. Let's move on to the winners. When you look at the winners, you slide down. Yeah, you see Pump.Fund up another 17.76%. It's got a GMB X factor of 0.03. I told you I'm not buying that coin. It serves no purpose. That coin serves no, it's the meme of memes. A coin for a platform. I can see that coin plummeting. Maybe it doesn't, but I can easily see how there's a situation where it could plummet. It serves zero purpose. That's why. It's a company making a money grab. And they got it. Over $500 million. Pudgy Penguins up 15% with a GMB X factor of 1.01. My confidence level, high. Bonk up 14.81% with a GMB X factor of 0.79. My confidence level, high. Brett up 11.75%. My confidence level in their 3.06 GMB X factor, pretty high. What else do we have? ZK Sync, something that I follow. I do not have a bag. Up 11.54%, a GMB X factor of 4.35. Why do I have faith in it? Things are moving in that kind of direction. Things are moving in that kind of direction. So do I think it's going to make that 4.35? A little shaky. But do I think it could hit like a 2x? Yeah, I do. And I could be wrong on these things. I'm just sharing my opinion. Superintelligence Alliance, FET, up 11.12% with a GMB X factor of 3.50. AI is going to make a tremendous comeback. A tremendous comeback. And if you don't recall, artificial superintelligence, that was the merging of 3 AI coins. They're going to do well. 3 coins that were overlapping in their use cases. Not overlapping a lot, but they were adding to what they could do together. Yeah, I think they're going to do fine. I do have a little bit. Not a lot. I do have a little bit. What else do we have? Curve DAO. I have no bag in this, but I know people follow it. It's up 10.47% with a GMB X factor of 18.57. Curve DAO could make a move. I don't have a lot of confidence. Dogwoof Hat, 9.50% upward momentum with a GMB X factor of 345. That's a really cool number. Get it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, this one's 345. Do I have confidence in it? Yes, it is another one I have confidence in. Turbo up. A lot of people follow it. Another meme coin up 9.24% with a GMB X factor of 1.42. Yes, I do have confidence that it's going to do it. Optimism up 9.1% with a GMB X factor of 5.85. I do have a tiny bag of this. Do I think it's going to make that 5.85? Yeah, no, I don't. Do I think it'll continue to go up? Yes. I think Optimism needs more building directly on the platform and not building on something like Base, which is based off of it. It's got a ways to go. It's got a ways to go. You have Jupiter up 8.47% with a GMB factor of 2.82. Do I think they can do it? Maybe. Arbitrum up 8.30 with a GMB factor of 4.51. Do I think they can do it? I have confidence. I do hold a little bit of Arbitrum, but I do have confidence in Arbitrum. Why? Arbitrum is what I call a part of the connective tissue. Platforms, blockchains that other companies, other projects are building on. That's why I have some belief in Arbitrum. Same thing with optimism. It's part of the connective tissue and people don't believe it. I have confidence in these. Do I think optimism can make that 5.85? I don't think so, but it could. Like I said, if they start promoting how much work, how much building is going on that blockchain, they could stand to do very well. Very well. So I'm just saying, there are things I'm paying attention to, and these are some of them. Everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you enjoyed today's Crypto Daily. I'll be back this evening at about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Crypto Overflow, where we'll be going over a lot of different things. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. Don't forget to smash the likes and tell your friends about this growing community. Community dedicated to you learning how to grow your bag, and not just in crypto, business, stocks. We care about growing our bags, even your skill set if you have a job, because the more money you can make it work, the more money you have to invest. The idea is invest, not save. Why? Because saving is giving your money to somebody else so they can make money off your money. You get a little smidgen. Investing is you making money off your money. So the more educated you become, the better off you are. Everybody have a good one. I'll see you tonight. Have a good one. Bye-bye.